back, agents. Today we are back on the Division 2, and today I have a couple builds to show you centered around the new Refactor gear set. So if we go to the gear here, for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, it's just your standard gear set, and it's going to come with the 2-piece bonus of 15% status effects. 3 pieces will give you 25% skill damage, and then 4 pieces will give you your talent Return to Sender. Receive repairs of 10% of the damage dealt by your skills. So, and your allies receive double that, which would be 20%. So essentially, it's just whenever you damage someone with your skills, it's going to heal you. And I know 10% may not sound like a lot, but trust me when I tell you, it's a lot more than it sounds like. So, and then if you're curious about the chest piece and backpack bonuses, the chest piece is going to increase that healing percentage from 10 to 25% for yourself, and for your teammates from 20 to 35%. So it's just going to increase it by 15% for everybody, and it's going to make it even stronger. And then the backpack bonus is going to give you the talent Over-Engineered. While at full armor, repairs received from Return to Sender will provide bonus armor up to 80% of your total armor. Does not apply to allies, so you definitely do not want to use this outside of solo. So I have 3 different builds to show you today. The one I have on here is of my solo version. And when I say solo, I really do mean solo. I do not recommend this outside of solo because of what I just talked about. That talent on the backpack is just going to pretty much be a wasted slot there if you're playing outside of solo, because that bonus armor is only applying to you. But solo, I do think this is pretty useful. So just to go over all the pieces here, you see we have skill tier on everything except for the gloves. We have armor, and that's because we get a free skill tier from Technician. So you could put weapon damage there if you prefer. I just don't really care about weapons when making a skill-based build, so I just prefer to go armor for extra survivability, and it's also going to make that bonus armor from the backpack a little bit stronger. So to go over the attributes here, you see we just have skill damage, skill haste across the board on every single piece. And then we have our exotic waveform holster here. There's the talent for anybody that doesn't know what that does. Essentially, it's just going to build skill damage over time, and it's going to switch back and forth between which skill it's giving that damage to. And it's going to cap out at 30%. And our other piece here is the named Fox's Prayer kneepads. A lot of people don't know this, but the damage to targets out of cover from this actually applies to all of your damage, not just weapons. So this 8% multiplicative damage to targets out of cover does apply to your skills, and it's going to make everything hit a lot harder. And then the other 2 pieces are just our last refactor pieces, and like always, we have our skill damage, skill haste on that. For weapons here, we have the named Harmony rifle, and that's mainly just for the perfectly in sync talent, just going to give us extra skill damage. And then we also have our exotic capacitor here, which is also just going to give us more skill damage, of course. Most of you are probably familiar with how these weapons work. If you don't have the Harmony, because this is a DZ exclusive, so it can be tricky to get, you can also use the named Test Subject assault rifle. It comes with the exact same talent. The only reason I use the Harmony over the Test Subject is just so I have 2 different ammo types, with our capacitor being an assault rifle and this being a rifle. It'll just give me more ammo, but it's not a huge deal. If you don't have the Harmony, you can use the Test Subject and that'll work just fine. And then I just have this TDI card custom with InSync on there, just for if I'm ever running the Pistolero directive, which you can do pretty easily with most skill builds. So really any pistol with InSync will work here. So generally, this build can be used for most types of content. The only thing it's susceptible to is certain Black Tusk content, because they like to use a lot of EMPs, which can really hurt you with this build. But other than that, it can pretty much do anything. I've ran legendary missions with this. It gets through heroic easily. So yeah, this is our solo build. Now if we go over to our builds here, I put on our next one. This is my Refactor hybrid build is what I call it. And that is because we're using the Ninja Bike to get bonuses from the Refactor set as well as our Empress set here. And we are also able to get extra core attributes here because of our Ninja Bike. So it's just more of a hybrid style of build. Now this one I would recommend for groups like I said with the other one that was strictly solo, because of that backpack talent only applying to you. You don't want to use it outside of solo. This one can be used in a group or solo. So we have the same guns here, so I won't go over that. like the other one, we're going to have skill damage, skill haste across the board. The only difference here is instead of that Refactor backpack, we have our exotic ninja bike backpack. For those who don't know what that does, it's essentially going to slot in an extra bonus for it's kind of tricky to explain. If we have, say for example, if we have 3 pieces of Refactor here, the ninja bike is going to slot in as a 4th piece. So we're going to get that 4-piece bonus, even though we only have 3 pieces. And then same goes for our Empress. We only have 2 pieces, but we're actually getting the 3-piece bonus. So we're getting the same talents as our other Refactor build minus the solo bonus armor. And then this one's going to come with our 3-piece Empress bonus, which is going to give us skill health, skill damage, and skill efficiency. For anyone who doesn't know what skill efficiency does, it's essentially just going to give you all of the skill stats across the board. So it's going to count as 8% skill damage, skill haste, skill duration, all that. So it's essentially the best skill stat you can get on a skill build. Of course, the only downside is that it's typically hard to get skill efficiency from brand bonuses, and it's only going to usually come in low values. You can see it only comes with that 8%, but it is a very important stat to have. If you can get it, it's always great to have it where you can. So that's going to be our hybrid build. Like I said, that can be used for pretty much any kind of content. I've also ran legendary. I've ran legendary with all 3 of these builds that I'm showing you, so it can handle the highest type of content you can imagine. Now, if we go to our last one here, this is my Refactor damage build. This is just based on, if we look at the Refactor solo build, the only difference here is that we're switching the knee pads for a backpack. So we have our Refactor knee pads instead of our Fox's Prayer. And then instead of, since this is essentially like the highest damage version of the non-solo build is what I was trying to go for here. So instead of that solo backpack with the bonus armor, we're gonna go for a Wyvern backpack, which is gonna give us 8% skill damage. And then I went for the talent tech support. So that's just gonna give us more skill damage every time you get a skill kill for 25 seconds. So yeah, nothing too special with this one. Quick note though, I do have armor on 2 of these pieces, which is not what you want. You only want armor on 1 of them. This technician is going to give you 1 skill tier for free, so that's why I can always go for 1 armor core. I just haven't farmed the right gloves or knee pads that I need to replace that for a skill tier, but you don't want 2 armor cores here, so I just wanted to mention that real quick. You want to make sure you have 5 skill tiers across your core attributes. If you want my personal opinion, I think this hybrid build here is probably my personal favorite so far, but I still am going to be testing a lot more builds with this. This brand is probably one of, if not the strongest brand we've ever had for skill builds anyway. And I will definitely be making a lot more builds with it. This is going to be replacing pretty much virtually every skill build in my arsenal, maybe even some healing builds. Because like I said, that healing is super strong and it applies to your whole team. So there's pretty much no reason to not always have 1, if not more, of these builds in your group if you're running a 4-man or even a 3 or 2-man. Super, super strong gear. I can't emphasize it enough. This is one of the best brands we've ever seen in the game. So maybe I'll post more build videos on it, maybe some PvP build videos on it for the PvP skill players. But for now, that's what I have in my arsenal here. So yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it for these builds. I'll throw in some gameplay of maybe some legendary content, maybe some heroic missions or open world. I'm not too sure yet, but I'll throw in some gameplay of the build for anyone who wants to stick around and check that out. But with that being said, that's pretty much going to do it for now, and I will see you guys in the next one.
your back! You're the only one I can talk to.